This lesson is going to be a little bit different from the ones that I usually share on the Retirement Income School. I don't share my personal story very often, but I want to in this lesson because it explains why I care so much about retirement income and why this school exists in the first place. If it's your first time here, I'm Dr. Amanda. Welcome to the Retirement Income School. This is your place to get financial education on how to protect your wealth and generate guaranteed lifetime income so you can retire financially relaxed. All right, let's dive right into this lesson's topic, which is why retirement is emotional, not just financial. And I want to share a little bit of my backstory here to help you understand why it is that I do what I do. First, if you have been with me since the beginning, all the way back to lesson 1, you might recall that I shared my story of helping my mom plan for retirement after my dad passed away and how complex it was. But my story starts even before that when I was on food stamps and I was raising my 3 kids as a single mom in grad school, earning my PhD as a sociologist. I've sprinkled this story throughout many of the lessons. But what I really want your takeaway to be from this is that I care deeply about security, safety, understanding the future. I know what it's like to have very little money and have to budget and have to really worry at night, every night laying in bed wondering how I'm going to feed my kids, what's going to happen if an emergency comes up. And something that really became important to me as I transitioned from food stamps to building my first business to 6 figures was it was amazing to me to realize that wealth building is a skill, that money management is a skill, that retirement income planning is a skill. Not that long ago, I knew nothing about retirement income planning. And that is what led me down the path to get my RSSA, that's the Registered Social Security Analyst, to get my RICP, Retirement Income Certified Professional, to become an IBC practitioner, that's infinite banking concept, and learning how to use high cash value life insurance to become your own bank and pass on your wealth in a multiple X inheritance strategy that's tax-free. And also to join the Ed Slott Elite IRA Advisor Group so that I could understand more about Roth conversions and how to help people use safe money solutions to transition their qualified retirement accounts in a tax-efficient way. I learned everything I could about annuities, and I'm still learning every single day. And the reason for this is because it's so important to feel relaxed financially. You hear me say it every time in my open and close for my retirement income school lessons. My goal is to help you retire financially relaxed. And again, this goes back to knowing what it feels like to be deeply financially stressed, to wonder where the next dollar is coming from, and to question my future. Being impoverished was a bad feeling. I much prefer to be where I am now, where I'm strategically building my wealth. And I know that if you're here watching this right now, it's because you have money to work with, where you're thinking about retirement strategy. I just want you to know that I deeply care about the people that I work with. I stay up at night sometimes thinking I got to know every aspect of retirement planning because I don't ever want you to be in a position to worry. And that is where I'm coming from when I'm working with people on retirement planning. And it's why I care so much about retirement income and safe money solutions, because I think it's really important to have that foundational safety first approach. Even when you are investing in the market, because there's volatility, you want to have the safe money bucket as your hedge. And so this is my why, helping you retire financially relaxed. And it's rooted in me having experienced being impoverished, being on food stamps, and then having a lot of money to work with for planning and really enjoying being able to guide you down that path successfully. And I think this is a great spot to include why I called it the Retirement Income School. It's because I don't think we learned these lessons in school. Typically, we learn to save, save, save. We don't learn about the decumulation phase or the retirement phase. We're thinking about saving. We hear a lot about investing in stocks. There is a lot of misinformation out there about annuities and life insurance. And so I see it as my job to educate you so that you can make the right decisions about your retirement. Of course, all that said, because I'm an insurance agent, I'm strategizing first to make sure you have the safe money solutions in place. Something I found fascinating by working with my mom on her retirement and then attracting clients to help them with their retirement planning. Before that, I had been a business coach and I helped entrepreneurs build their wealth by helping them transform their money mindset and coming up with strategies for them to make easier and larger amounts of money as entrepreneurs. A long time ago, I got my insurance license because since I decided I didn't want to be on food stamps anymore and I really wanted to build my wealth, I learned wealth building strategies from people who were wealthy, and high cash value life insurance was one of those strategies. So I got my license and I started teaching entrepreneurs how to shift their mindset from poverty consciousness. I started teaching entrepreneurs how to make easier money in their businesses. And then when I started with retirement planning, I started working with people who were at that phase of life. And in that process, I saw many patterns that my mom was experiencing and that the people that I was working with were experiencing. There were common fears that were coming up for each and every person that were similar. And when I see a repeated pattern, I like to come up with solutions. And here's the pattern that I kept seeing. People don't feel stressed because they lack assets. They feel stressed because they lacked certainty. Even with solid portfolios, many retirees worry about running out of money, market volatility, not enough income for lifestyle, meaning that they're worried they're going to run out and not be able to do the fun things. So their budgets are set, they've got the essential money, but they're worried they're going to run out and not be able to relax and play during retirement. A lot of people have a fear of spending what they've saved and a lack of decumulation planning. So in that fear of spending what they've saved, it was mind-blowing to me to work with people who had millions of dollars and they didn't want to spend it. And I know that if you're watching this or listening to this on the podcast, this might be you, because this is a very common pattern where people save millions, and in order to save the millions, they are savers. And they're afraid to spend the money that they've earned. And so it sits there and keeps accumulating, but they have this fear of the decumulation phase where they start drawing income from those savings. And part of that is a lack of decumulation planning. And when I say decumulation planning, we're talking about what are you going to do during that era when you're no longer working? You don't have income coming in the same way as you did when you were working, and now you're starting to draw down your assets. Of course, many people are able to use the interest or the gains on their portfolio to live from that, but you're still in your mindset decumulating because you're not adding anymore to your buckets of money. And so people have a real fear around this. And so when I saw this time and time again, it really made me realize retirement anxiety isn't about how much you have. It's about knowing what comes next. So it's this lack of control, and it's not about how much you have, because whether people had 1 million to work with in retirement or 15 million to work with in retirement, they had these same fears. And I thought that was fascinating because being a person who was on food stamps, I always thought if I had $5 million, everything would be awesome. And as I build my wealth, I realized I consider these things. And it's why the planning is so important. We don't want to have a lack of planning. We want to be clear about the plan. Another thing that I started to notice was that people who have annuities or pensions felt very secure in retirement. They act and behave differently than people who don't have their essential needs met through ongoing income streams that come every month, no matter how long they live. And that's why I think of annuities as one strategy that retirees say changes everything. So this is a study of owners of annuities that are age 60 or older. Some of the stats, and we're going to break this down. I'm going to show you this research. These individuals report that they have less worry. So they have 97% less worry when they have guaranteed income that keeps them from worrying about running out of money. It increases daily confidence by 93%. So a stress reduction around day-to-day expenses. And 88% report more peace about the market, meaning that they aren't worried about market downturns because they have that guaranteed lifetime income. And this is a study by BlackRock, a survey of over 1,000 retirees. Let's go to that research so I can highlight this for you. And I will have the link to this in the show notes. All right. So like I said, this is research from BlackRock on annuity owners and the benefits of lifetime income. So we're just going to scroll through this a little bit so you can see this research. It's really powerful. So Gen X makes up about 36% of the workforce and is the next generation starting to retire. And that's why this research is so interesting. According to this research, they say that 76% of those Gen Xers believe that they won't have the same level of financial security as previous generations, which, if you think about it, those of previous generations were more likely to have access to pensions. And so baby boomers would say they're right. Of those who are already retired, 85% say lifetime income makes a bigger difference than they thought it would in retirement. And I want you to think about how important that is. 85% say that lifetime income makes a bigger difference. So they have the benefit of looking back and saying, yes, I'm glad that I have guaranteed lifetime income. And this is something that Ed Slott and I talked about when I had him on the Retirement Income School. We talked about the power of delayed gratification. Funding an annuity and putting money in a safe money bucket doesn't always feel that rewarding in the moment, especially when we often tend to be high risk takers during the accumulation phase. But if you think about the power of having guaranteed lifetime income, funding that over a series of time, or even once you retire, taking some of your assets and allocating them toward the safe money bucket of a guaranteed lifetime income annuity, it will make you happier. So this research shows that 88% of annuity owners say their annuities help ease worries about the possibility of stock market downturns. Like I said before, one of the patterns I saw is that people worry about market volatility. I've worked with people who told me they check the market every day, sometimes multiple times a day, wondering what's going to happen to their portfolio. I don't know about you, but that's not how I want to feel during retirement. I want to set it and forget it and be happy and relax in my retirement. Some people might enjoy the practice of looking at the market every day, but I think for most people, it tends to stress them out, especially when you look at the asset class of equities. It's volatile. Things go up and down. When you're in the retirement phase, you don't want to be worrying about the sequence of return risk where you're drawing down your retirement assets to live every year from a portfolio that isn't performing well. That makes you worry even more because you wonder, what if it doesn't recover in time? When you're in the retirement era and you're in the decumulation phase, you don't have decades to recover. And so an annuity helps ease that stress and that fear. So a few key things to pull out of this BlackRock research is that 5 key values emerged. People are having longer lives, they need more peace of mind, and annuity owners believe that the 3 reasons for buying guaranteed lifetime income relate to longevity. So they want peace of mind that their savings will never run out. They want more assurance that essential expenses would be covered for life, and they want extra protection in case they live a long life, which we know that longevity is increasing, and longevity risk is something that can stress you out in your portfolio. Number 2, with a guarantee, there's less financial stress. So they found that 97% of annuity owners say their annuities help them worry less about running out of money. 97%. Okay. Number 3, greater uncertainty, more security. What they mean by this is that a volatile, uncertain economy can affect financial stress, and 88% of annuity owners say their annuities help ease worries about the possibility of stock market downturn. So these are the first 3 really important reasons to consider adding an annuity to your safe money bucket in your portfolio. Number 4, they found that people want more saving safeguards with less vulnerability. The AARP reports that older Americans lose $28.3 billion annually to elder financial exploitation and fraud, and that 84% of annuity owners say annuities make them less vulnerable to financial fraud or bad investment decisions later. And this is really powerful. Retirees are also considering aging and their ability to make sound financial decisions. 92% say that an annuity makes it easier to manage financial decisions, at an older age when decision making sometimes becomes harder. This is called frailty in retirement research, where as you age, you become more frail, you have less decision making capacity. So a guaranteed lifetime income annuity is a set it and forget it income. The money keeps coming every month and you don't need to keep making decisions around it. And then a fifth key value that retirees are thinking about is steadier income and more spending. So retirees do not like spending down their nest eggs. I talked about this in the patterns that I see. It is amazing to me how well this BlackRock article conveys exactly what I found with all the people that I was working with. And it makes sense because it's a sociological pattern that we're seeing because of longevity, because of market volatility. Individuals are wanting some safe money solutions. So, like I said, retirees don't like spending down their nest eggs, and annuities can help these spending fears. 53% say that owning an annuity makes them feel more comfortable spending their non-guaranteed assets if there's something they want or need to spend money on. And 61% of annuity owners are very or extremely confident they can withdraw sustainably through retirement. So a key takeaway here is that it's the number one financial fear, outliving your money. And annuities can be a valuable solution to solve that problem. And tying this back to why I focus on safe money solutions, it's that fear. I really enjoy helping people overcome their retirement fears, rest peacefully at night. I love it so much when I receive reviews from my clients that say, oh, I'm more relaxed. I hear that all the time. I'm more relaxed. I don't need to worry. I know I've got you on my side. And so let's talk about where I think retirement planning often gets it wrong. What are the real goals of retirement income planning? If you think about everything I've said in this lesson so far, retirement isn't an investment problem. It's an income problem, and even more importantly, it's a confidence problem. The real goals of retirement income planning are actually pretty simple. You want to make sure that you're covering the essentials no matter what happens in the market. You want to reduce stress as you age and your priorities start to shift. You want to create confidence that you won't outlive your money, and you want to be making better decisions with your remaining assets and leaving a legacy. Overall, you really want to feel supported and not alone on the retirement journey. Which brings me to a question that I think every retiree should be asking themselves. So I want you to ask yourself this question. How confident do I feel in my retirement plan? And how connected do I feel to the person guiding me? I truly believe that retirement planning isn't a transaction, it's a relationship. I love it when I'm on initial consults with people and they talk about, I really want to find someone I can build a relationship with, because that is my goal too. If you're looking for somebody to help guide you along this money journey, along the retirement income journey, this is someone that you're going to have in your life for a long time. This is somebody that you want to trust, and you want them to walk you through it, hold your hand, talk to you about what's going on so that you can be educated and make sound decisions. And like we talked about, as you're aging, you want some of those decisions to be set it and forget it, so you don't need to be paying attention to the market every day. And really, these are all the reasons that I created the Retirement Income School. I wanted to teach you the lessons that you never got in school about retirement income planning. I want to help you focus on clarity, confidence, and connection in retirement income planning. And my ultimate goal is to help you retire financially relaxed. You'll keep hearing me say it every time you come back for a retirement income school lesson, because to me, that is critical. Like I said, I've been in a state of deep financial stress where I worried and cried myself to sleep every night. And I've been on the other side of it where I feel relaxed. I'm planning ahead. I'm creating financial security for myself and others. And it feels so, so good. If this sounds valuable to you and you want to chat about your retirement plan, go to retirementincome.school. You'll see a button at the top of the page that says book a Q&A call. And what we'll do is have a chat and we'll see if it's a good fit to move forward. If it is, then we'll meet over Zooms to create a personalized retirement income solution for you using various tools that I have to help you with planning so you can have more certainty. And that's a wrap on this lesson. If you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe to the podcast or YouTube channel, turn on the notifications so you never miss out, and continue to stick with me here at the Retirement Income School, where you'll learn how to keep your money safe and make it last so you can enjoy retirement. This content is for educational purposes only and is not financial, legal, or tax advice. Always consult a qualified professional before making decisions about your retirement.